focus attention on the ocean, its vulnerabilities, and its need for protection. My name is Cindy Ziff. I'm Executive Director of Clean Ocean Action. I want to thank Bill Major and Maria Peters for their help at Funtown, making it so accessible to us and providing us this beautiful venue which celebrates so much of the ocean, and also Bobby Stewart from Funtown Parking for providing us with free parking. So this event was to have taken place on World Ocean Day, which is June 8th, which is an international day of celebration for the ocean. But of course, at Clean Ocean Action, and for many, many of you and millions beyond, every day is World Ocean Day. And now more than ever, she needs our protection. For more than 40 years, Clean Ocean Action has focused and put the ocean first in efforts to stop ocean pollution, prevent industrialization, and we're not backing down now. In fact, we're doubling down because the threats are that severe. We thought it would be appropriate to hear from the real voices of the sea, and Leslie Mangold, who you'll be hearing from in just a few minutes, has put together a special soundtrack of the real voices of the sea. It's very quiet in the ocean right now. Very quiet. Yeah. Those are the sounds that the ocean had heard. And of course, with humankind, recent history, that there's been a lot more noise, and we're going to speak to that. But to welcome us here to this beautiful location for the official start of the program, we'd like to invite Mayor John Peterson here to talk a few minutes. His passion for his community and his passion for the environment, in particular the ocean, I've known for decades. He's been a bipartisan voice for the ocean as an elected official and a true champion of the ocean environment for so long, and we're so grateful for him to welcome us here to Seaside Park, which is just about the middle of the Jersey Shore. So if you start at Sandy Hook and you go to Cape May and you kind of go to the middle, it's really about the heart of the Jersey Shore. So thank you so much, Mayor, for having us here.
Thank you, Cindy. Is this picking me up okay?
Yep.
It's my honor to be here, and I think as I first talked to you, it's my duty as well, and I hope the day will come when that duty will be recognized by elected officials at all levels of government, the federal government, the state government, county and local, up and down the Jersey Shore. And I can tell you, I too join in thanking Bill Major, Funtown Beach, Bobby Stewart for the parking here today, and especially I join in the entire Jersey Shore community, and indeed everyone in the state of New Jersey, for thanking Cindy Zip and Clean Ocean Action for making the public aware of the dangers, of the threats to our ocean, and what could happen if we become complacent. Thank you, Cindy. If there was a team member now, hopefully more and more people, more and more groups will join in that team. That ocean is sacred, and each and every one of us, I think, knows that. And I say that from a whole host of perspectives. It's sacred if you wanted to get religious, which you're not supposed to do, I suppose, in public office, but you could easily say that. We just heard some voices speaking to us. But you could also say it's sacred because it's our way of life. It's our economy, our tourism business, our tourism industry. It's why people have the expression, those who are truly from New Jersey, grew up in New Jersey, say, I'm going down the shore. And we are the shore, and the ocean is an integral part of each and every one of our lives, our businesses, our quality of life, and it's why we live here and why we all strive to preserve and protect that magnificent resource for future generations, for our children and our children's children. We've heard talk of the euphemism, the mislabeled name farm. It's associated with industrial, massive development off our coast. The true farm is right out there.
Nice.
The true farm upon which millions depend, not just for their livelihood, but for their food sources. That's the farm, the ocean. And we welcome, of course, Dirk Wenzel and those environmentally minded individuals in the commercial fishing industry who have joined in this public awareness campaign. I'm somewhat shocked, as I've told Cindy, because it wasn't that many years ago that many of us here joined together. And it was a bipartisan effort of members of New Jersey's congressional delegation of both political parties, all the commercial fishing industry, the recreational fishermen, everybody joined together, and Cindy Zip, of course, in Clean Ocean Action, was leading that public awareness campaign, along with Ocean County's own Save Barnegat Bay and a number of other prestigious environmental groups. We fought battles right not far from this very spot with the Seabegaga pipeline, spewing its pollution right into our precious ocean. We had tar balls came upon the beach here in Ocean County, in Seaside Park, and up and down the coast, and everyone threw up their hands in frustration and complained, wrote letters. Well, Seaside Park, at no cost to the taxpayers, filed a suit against the BT Nautilus. We documented each and every hour which spent with our labor force. We also gave a good faith estimate of the time and effort of those who helped in the cleanup, including landfill costs, and we filed a notice of claim and we recovered. And hopefully we never have to do that again. And that's the unfortunate downside of the complacency, which I think has overcome some people. We also fought, of course, New York City's garbage crisis. They burned wood right off of this coast, right off of the Ocean County, up and down was a wood burning site. We fought and stopped that. And with respect to the most recent proposals, those too are something that are extremely detrimental to our ocean, to our way of life, to the economy, and indeed to the very quality of why we live here at the Jersey Shore, and indeed the entire state of New Jersey. So I long for the days, once again, to have bipartisan support, and I call upon each and every member of our congressional delegation, the state legislature, both political parties, young and old, people of each and every profession, and I pledge to join with them, whoever they might be, in fighting some of these outrageous current proposals to industrialize the ocean off of our precious shores up and down New Jersey. The industrialization, whether it be wind farms, mineral development, and some of the other outrageous proposals, none of which have been subjected to true scientific inquiry, investigation, and certainly are not being subjected to a true cost-benefit analysis. So I thank Cindy Zip. I pledge to join with you, as Seaside Park always has. Its citizens are always environmentally aware and they are aware, most importantly, of our ocean. And obviously I could go on, and we have some very interesting speakers here, and we joined together with, this was unfortunately right near the site of a tragic occurrence here in Seaside Park, when one of these magnificent creatures washed up on our beaches, and we joined together, and if any good came of that tragedy and those of the other beautiful whales, as well as dolphins and marine life that has been destroyed, and if there is any good to it, perhaps that whale, Wendy, is speaking to us, as are others, that we have to do something, and we have to do something now and join together. So, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you very much. That was a good overview about the past, the present, and hopefully the future. To share and enlighten us of the voices that we heard from the ocean is Leslie Mangold. She's has been with the Save the Whales group, which was sort of a pop-up, but she was the co-founder of the Rally for the World Whale Day, which was held in Point Pleasant with over 1,000 people showing up in the middle of February and coming down to the Jersey Shore to raise awareness about the whales. So thank you so much, Leslie.
Hi everyone, happy belated World Whale Day. As Cindy said, I sort of was a pop-up Save the Whales event because of what was happening. But it is truly an honor for me to be here on the same stage with Clean Ocean Action, who helped us with the rally. It was Tricia DeVoe, naturalist Tricia DeVoe, and I, with the help of Clean Ocean Action and their team, which helped us to organize that rally to help get word out. About me, and before I say that, Clean Ocean Action, round of applause for them, because they are the superheroes of the ocean here. I grew up at the Jersey Shore, and I spent my summer days, like probably a lot of you, swimming, fishing, crabbing, jumping waves in the ocean, or watching my brother surf, going out in the boat. And I just loved every single day that I was on, near, or at the water, as I still do now. As Mayor Peterson said, the water back then was not nearly as clean as it is now, and unfortunately a lot of us didn't know that, but the ocean was considered a dump back then. We had no idea that harmful chemicals, sludge, trash, plastic, and more were burned, dumped, or buried at sea. Clean Ocean Action fought very hard to bring that to light, and they fought for change, and change it did. The results of their work and their efforts, and the efforts of all the citizens and politicians, is seen now in a clean, healthy ocean that is wonderful to swim in and look at. How fortunate are we that Clean Ocean Action had our oceans back. And the bonus has been not just clean and clear water, but to see dolphins and whales right off our shoreline. As you know, our ocean is now in imminent danger and needs your help again. Because recently, we've had an unprecedented amount of whale and dolphin deaths than dolphins and whales that have washed onto our shoreline. It is beyond heartbreaking to see them lying there lifeless. That was the impetus for the World Whale Day rally. In point, it was to raise the red flag, like something is happening here. And we need to get people to advocate for our ocean and our whales and dolphins. At the beginning of today's event, a recorded mix of ocean sounds was played. It's a little bit low, I'm sorry about that, but it did include sounds of whale songs, dolphin squeals, sails, fish, shrimp. There was a cacophony of sounds underneath the water. And it makes me wonder if they communicate in a language of words or just feelings. And I wish we could speak to them, because I want to ask them, how are you doing? How are you really? And do you need help? I think their answer would be a resounding yes. Yes, we need your help again. And thank you for all you have done over the years to protect us and our home. We need you, and our ocean needs you. In closing, let me say this. We need to protect our ocean now. And we need to protect our environment. We acknowledge the need for clean, renewable energy and reducing our carbon footprint. But we cannot consider or accept harming the ocean and marine life as a result of a green energy initiative. We've come too far now to go backwards. The ocean is our last great open space, and it should not be leased, developed, industrialized, sold, or used for profit. There is a connectedness and balance to all of our natural resources. And if we harm one, it will have a ripple effect on others and on us. We cannot stand idly by and let the ocean be used as what I call collateral damage in the fight against climate change. And if we do, we are complicit in helping to destroy it. Our ocean needs your help, so I urge you to please do everything that you can to defend it. Get involved, call and write your elected officials, spread the word, talk to your neighbors. Please be a voice for our ocean, for our marine life. And that's all. Sorry, I kind of lost my blank at the end, but thank you very much.
That was great. Thank you so much, Leslie. Hence half of the Save the Whales World Whale Day rally team. And now we'd like to invite Tricia up to speak more specifically about the role that whales play in the ocean, which many people are unaware.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming here today for World Ocean Day, a week late. I want to give a special thank you to my friends Tom and Larry of the Bikini Boys, who donated their time and talent to make this wonderful sand sculpture. It's absolutely beautiful. They do amazing work, so thank you, Tom and Larry. Awesome jobs, boys. I also want to thank Cindy Zip and Clean Ocean Action for inviting me to speak. I'm honored to be here with you today, and I'm going to be speaking on behalf of our whales. To give you a little background on myself, I'm a conservation biologist, and I'm the founder of SaveOurWhalesNow.org, which came out of the World Whale Day rally, and it's an education and advocacy program to teach others about whales and the important role they play in combating climate change. I'm also fortunate enough to be a naturalist for Miss Belmar Whale Watching. So yes, my job is to go whale watching. How great is that? Seeing whales and dolphins in the wild is truly amazing. It never gets old. And I just love my job, and I love dolphins and whales. So we hear all the time at Miss Belmar that people had no idea we had whales here. Now, while it's true that humans push whales to near extinction from hunting and polluting our waters, the massive efforts over the past 50+ years with the enactment of the Marine Mammal Protection Act, the Endangered Species Act, and the Clean Water Act, along with the hard work of Clean Ocean Action, and of course, our Cindy Ziff and her team, Our ocean is finally a thriving, healthy marine ecosystem. Just look at it. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The water's crystal clear, and we have an abundance of fish and marine life, including tons of Atlantic menhaden or bunker fish. And that's what's attracting the whales to our area. We see humpback whales off the shore from March to November, which coincides with their feeding season, and they are here to feed on all our bunker fish. We also have thousands of bottlenose dolphins feeding on the bunker fish as well. It's so exciting to see these beautiful marine mammals right off our beaches. Now, after decades of relentless hard work to protect the ocean and marine life, we are finally seeing the fruits of all that labor. Things were just looking great for our ocean, our marine life, and our whales. But then suddenly in December 2022, whales started washing up dead on our beaches. We had 20 dead whales in the New York and New Jersey waters, 12 of them in New Jersey and 8 in New York. This is double the amount that we had in February when we held our first rally on World Whale Day. So clearly the situation is getting worse, not better. One of the whales, very personal to myself and Mayor Peterson, just washed up a few blocks south of us here on March 2nd. We named this beautiful whale Windy, and sadly we watched as Windy was buried on the beach just a few steps from where we are now. Having 20 whales die in 6 months' time, it's not just devastating, but it's a cause for great alarm. Now, if you don't particularly love whales, you might wonder why you should be concerned. Well, the fact is, anyone concerned about climate change and the air we breathe should be concerned about such an unusually high number of whales dying. This is because whales are a powerful weapon in our fight against climate change. Whales are known as carbon sinks, and what this means is whales accumulate carbon in their massive bodies over their long lifespan. When they die, they sink to the bottom of the ocean, and they take that carbon with them out of the atmosphere, and they keep it out for centuries. So each great whale takes on average 33 tons of CO2 to the bottom of the ocean. But when whales are alive, they actually play an even greater role in helping our atmosphere, basically by eating and pooing in our oceans. So I know that may sound funny to some of you, but whale feces is actually very important because it fertilizes the ocean and produces phytoplankton blooms. Phytoplankton not only provides nourishment for zooplankton and other marine life, but it produces 50% of our oxygen, and it captures approximately 40% of all the CO2 produced in the world. So this is the equivalent of 1.7 trillion trees or 4 Amazon rainforests. So whales play a key role in reducing CO2 levels and providing us with clean air to breathe. But our current whale populations are estimated to be only about 25% of what their historical pre-whaling numbers were. If we could restore whale populations to their pre-whaling numbers of about 4 to 5 million, scientists estimate that the great whales would capture about 1.7 billion tons of CO2 every year. Imagine the impact that would have on our planet. Supporting initiatives and legislation to protect the ocean and restore whale populations could lead to a breakthrough in the fight against climate change. Nature has had millions of years to perfect her whale-based carbon sink technology to keep our atmosphere healthy. The Earth technology is already in place. All we need to do is protect the ocean and let the whales live. So we are calling on all of you to become ocean warriors. We need you to get involved and help us fight to save our ocean, save our whales. The future of our planet depends on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. Thank you, Leslie and Mayor Peterson and Cindy. Thank you all for coming. My name is Kari Martin. I'm the Advocacy Campaign Manager for Clean Ocean Action. Thank you all for coming out here today to listen to the information we have to share, and we will be sharing much more for the rest of the day. But just based on, after hearing from Tricia, the importance of whales and all of the years of progress we've made on cleaning up the ocean, with all the unprecedented number of whale and marine mammal deaths, as well as the unprecedented amount of activity and new activity happening in the ocean as of late, it is unfathomable to see the lack of investigation and the lack of transparency into the string of deaths of these whales and marine mammals, especially with endangered species at grave risk. While federal agencies so boldly and confidently contend that offshore wind energy one of the activities happening offshore now, has nothing to do with the deaths of these marine mammals. They provided no evidence. In fact, the agencies themselves highlight noise as a major factor in marine mammal harm. This is alarming, as the impacts on marine life from noise are only going to grow and intensify with the increased amount of activity related to offshore wind activities as well as other threats. When will the federal and state governments acknowledge this unprecedented amount of activity that is happening in the ocean and making this noise? When will they make a true determination of the cumulative impacts from these offshore wind activities and surveying? That's why we need, and Clean Ocean Action has always been calling for a pilot project to understand what the true impacts are of this new industrialization. And to give you a better perspective of kind of some cumulative effects, I have Fiona Griffin here to address that.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here today. My name is Fiona Griffin and I'm super excited to be here with Clean Ocean Action this summer as an advocacy and outreach intern. So I am actually currently a college student at the University of California, Berkeley, out on the West Coast. I study environmental economics, but I'm super excited to be back here on the East Coast for this summer to work so closely with Clean Ocean Action. So like so many other people up here, I grew up on the Jersey Shore. I grew up right up in Monmouth County. One of my fondest memories growing up was a day that I spent on the beach with two of my best friends. And I was swimming in the ocean and her parents pulled me out and they were like, "You can't be in the water, there's a whale out there." We sat on the beach for the next hour and a half and watched a humpback whale as he swam back and forth in front of the beach club, doing flips and jumping in the air. It's like he knew we were there and he was putting on a show for us. I love these whales so much, and I'm so happy to be able to be here today and speak about how important it is to protect them. So, for my past 3 weeks with Clean Ocean Action, I have been researching very deeply the incidental harassment authorizations that are being offered by NOAA Fisheries for these offshore wind projects that are being proposed and developed off of our coast. So, we would like to announce these numbers that are being proposed, authorized, and have previously been authorized and are now expired for the marine mammal takes that are being authorized off of our coast. So what we call a take, they are divided between level A and level B authorizations. Level A takes are when companies believe that they will be causing real harm to the animals off of our coast. These include all species of whales, including the very endangered North Atlantic white whale, as well as dolphins and seals. And level B as well, kind of is less harmful than a level A take, but it kind of constitutes a disturbance or an annoyance to these animals. So this research has come cumulatively to, and we have collected this data from all the way back in 2014 up until June 12th, 2023. And I say June 12th, even though today is the 15th, because as of June 13th, there has been an additional 3,000 level B proposed takes that have added to these numbers. So if we look, we have specifically focused on the New York, New Jersey Bight, which is where Clean Ocean Action focuses most of our research, as well as the Atlantic coast, which could include states all the way from Massachusetts down to South Carolina. So if we look at these grand total numbers, these are shocking. If we look at the entire Atlantic coast, there are over 800,000 takes that have been authorized, proposed, and expired from 2014 until 2023. That is 800,000 animals that are proposed to be harmed as a result of these offshore wind projects. If we look at this, most of those numbers, nearly 700,000 takes, are being proposed in the New York Bight specifically. And what we have done when we looked at these numbers is a lot of the survey activity for offshore wind developments, even off the coast of Massachusetts and Rhode Island, their survey activity comes down into the New York Bight. So for those of you that don't know, the Bight is the area that we focus on between the tip of Montauk and Cape May, New Jersey. So it's kind of that triangle of the ocean that's really near and dear to our hearts. And I think it's really important to highlight on these numbers. Oops. This pie chart right here focuses specifically on the New York and New Jersey Bight numbers, and this section right here, this is 437,000 marine mammal takes. This is the level B proposed number of takes. This has not yet been authorized, but this is what's coming down the pike. This is what's coming in the future. As of now, there have only been this section, these 96,000 as well as 153,000 level B takes that have been approved and authorized already, but this is what's coming for us. This is how many marine mammals are going to be disturbed or directly impacted by these offshore wind developments in the future years. So this is a growing problem and it's only getting worse. And it's really important to see my generation, as we know, are going to be most affected by climate change. We know when we see the importance for climate change solutions, but that can't come at the expense of these wonderful animals. Ocean industrialization is not the future, and we need to make sure that these animals are being protected and that we don't allow 400,000 animals to be hurt between now and 2030. That's impossible. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, doesn't that just give you hope for the future, right? Thank you, Fiona. That was phenomenal. Sorry. So yeah, that's just the beginning, and you know, it's starting. It's startling when you see it all together. And you know, while we have been highlighting the mammals, you know, there's also all the other voices of the ocean that Leslie shared with us, and millions of others. And you know, we at Clean Ocean Action, I think it's a theme throughout the speakers today, is we understand climate change is real. We understand that we have to do something now. But a healthy ocean is our best buffer to climate change. And we cannot destroy or undermine the health of the ocean if we want to save the planet. A healthy ocean means a healthy planet. And this rush to do something about climate change is causing reckless harm being done to the ocean. And the offshore wind is just the beginning. And there's been no transparency, there's been no due diligence, there's a lack of good governance and a lack of good science. We're just going full steam ahead. So today, the threats that the ocean is facing is not just from the offshore wind. There are other proposals. That's just the gateway. And what's so what's so unfortunate is that a lot of environmental organizations are buying in to this offshore wind as being the solution critical to the solution of climate change. And that's just the facts just don't support that. So I just want to list a couple of the other things that are going on, because once we gateway industrialization of the ocean through the offshore wind at the scale, scope, and speed, which I'm sure you've seen the map. We can get the map. Oh, it's over there. Of all of the wind turbines that are being proposed. You know, this is what's currently proposed. There's a lot more coming down the pike. So what Fiona was talking about is just the project that we know about. The state of New Jersey is going out for additional solicitations for even more offshore wind, and there's more offshore wind happening south of us and north of us. So you know, these waterways are the migration pattern of marine life, whales, fish, and others. So this is creating a gauntlet, a concrete jungle that fish and marine life are going to have to try to navigate around. And there's been little to no science at all to see whether or not the individual projects will be problematic, much less the cumulative effect of 3,500 turbines, 2.2 million acres of ocean, 10,000 miles of cable with electromagnetic fields that are going to be pulsing out not just magnetic fields but heat, and then discharging hot water through the cooling systems. This is this is ecologically a disaster. And this all is because President Biden announced that he wants to put 30 gigawatts of energy into the ocean. He announced that, you know, roughly around 2000. That was his executive order. You know, there was no ecological assessment, there was no transparency. It happened during the pandemic. No one knew what was going on. And so that's no way to prepare or to implement an environmental, something like this expansion of industrialization. The other thing that the president announced, the Biden administration announced an ocean climate action plan, which includes, following the offshore wind, confined animal feedlots, otherwise known as aquaculture, where we're going to be penning fish in the thousands and thousands around these wind turbines, because we've destroyed the commercial fishing industry. The recreational fishing will also be impacted, so they're going to create fish farms, basically, which require chemicals and pharmaceuticals and feeding them, and they get diseases. and they may expose the wild creatures to these diseases. It's just a disaster waiting to happen. And then following that is something called carbon injection, where they're going to be absorbing carbon out of the air and injecting it into the seafloor. And then after that, or during that, there's ocean mining. These are all back to back. These are all in the pipeline, literally and otherwise, for our ocean. So it's just the start of what they call the blue economy, but it's the environmental destruction and industrialization of the ocean under the guise of climate change reduction. And to that point, I just want to identify that focus, because very few people know this, that the Inflation Reduction Act, which provides a lot of the funding for all these offshore projects, also had like a dirty little deal tucked away. I think it was in section 50,200, 2,000 and something. It's a way buried. It's a little bitty section, but it says during the 10-year period, the Bureau of Ocean Management may not issue a lease for offshore wind development unless the agency has offered at least 60 million acres for oil and gas leasing in the outer ocean areas. So offshore wind is being touted as a response to climate change because we've got to reduce our fossil fuel use. But the leases require, any offshore wind releases require that 60 million acres of ocean be offered for oil and gas development. How does that square with the commitment of reducing fossil fuel use? And of course, everyone, both the federal government and the state government, are fast-tracking all of these permits to a reckless degree. You know, there are comments, there's a public hearings next week, which Kari is going to be talking about in a minute, but this is just happening so fast. And every day we're getting stuff to comment on, and it's thousands of pages. It's just so reckless. I just want to, wrap up this section by saying, so the ocean is under attack again. And many years ago, in 2011, we had launched the Clean Ocean Zone, which was a federal piece of legislation to protect our little corner of the ocean from Montauk to Cape May, which then could expand to other areas of the ocean that would lock out all the bad stuff, all the ocean dumping that we had done, all the raw sewage, all the medical waste, all the bad things that we were doing. This national law would lock it all out and lock in the protection of the ocean so that we could enjoy all the riches and the benefits that the ocean provides for free. I might remind you, we don't have to pay the ocean for any of these resources that she provides. The fish, the enjoyment, the serenity, the oxygen. All of this is provided free. All she asks is for us to leave her alone and let her do her thing and not harm her. So, we developed this piece of legislation, a federal piece of legislation called the Clean Ocean Zone. We launched a huge campaign, and then in 2012, Superstorm Sandy hit and really knocked out the legislative, momentum that we were gaining. And we got busy. The ocean was, we thought safe, but we now know that we are not safe. And in fact, we have more reckless things being proposed than I could have ever imagined. And so today we are renewing our call for the Clean Ocean Zone. We're enhancing the Clean Ocean Zone, and we're providing a citizen campaign to get our elected officials, as Mayor Peterson mentioned, get them on record as being supportive of the ocean, so that they can help us protect the ocean in the future. They need to take a stand, and many of them are quiet, and we have to raise our voices to make sure they make a stand. We need rebels for the Clean Ocean Zone, or what we call the cause. So Rebels with a Cause is going to be our main theme here. But we need the ocean. We need the Clean Ocean Zone. We need a national law, because there are no laws really protecting the ocean from all of these reckless things, which is why they're happening at the speed they are. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Kari. And I just want to mention that this is possible. I know it seems impossible, but just recently the governor of Oregon announced that she wants a pause on any offshore wind development off of her coast. Yes, off of her coast. And she's a Democrat, and had also some Democrat members of Congress join her in that, because she wants the environmental studies and the environmental work done first. And that's what we should be demanding as well. So we thank Governor Tina Kopic, and we look forward to following in her footsteps and here on the other side of the coast. Kari Martin, who is a champion of citizen action. There's so much of all of this would not be possible without Kari Martin, our advocacy campaign manager, who's so much more to the organization and has a long history with our organization. She knows how to get these things done, and we are just so grateful to Kari.
Thank you. So this is where the action starts. After informing all of you, and we're going to be engaging citizens in this entire campaign, and it starts today. We have a campaign open house from 4 to 7 here, and a call to action at 7. So we've invited ocean advocates to come, learn, get informed, sign up, get involved. We have action stations, as well as we'll be putting up a comment booth where we can have people come, and I invite all of you to go take a look. We have fact sheets, we have a petition, we also have the ability to sign petitions online on computers, and also submit comments directly to the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management for the current comment period that is open for the Atlantic Shores 1 and 2 offshore wind project. That's 200 turbines off of South Jersey. So it's a short time frame. We're asking people to ask for an extension for the comment period because for this project and many others, the environmental impact statements are thousands of pages long with hundreds of references and figures and diagrams and information. So today in our action campaign, we start off by having people sign up for whatever time you can give, whenever you can give it, because we all stand to benefit from protecting our ocean with the Clean Ocean Zone campaign. So we have a sign up for the Clean Ocean Zone campaign for being a petition leader, people petition captain, a leader in your community, with your organization, with your friends and family, and also just sharing the information and getting the information out there, because all of the progress made on improving and protecting our ocean has been made by grassroots, by people that are concerned, and their feet are on the ground, they work here, they live here, they play here, and they want a clean ocean. And so we will continue that throughout the summer by having outreach events where people can continue to come out and continue to make comments, submit comments, raise questions, and get involved. So we also have a petition today that we're launching regarding the Atlantic Shores offshore wind projects, asking for an extension. So please sign and share that. All the citizens out there, please share that. We've got Father's Day and graduation coming up this weekend. So at those parties, talk to 5 people, 10 people. Just tell them what you've learned today. Tell them what you're reading about and finding out what's happening at the ocean and how much we need their help, and the ocean needs their help. As I said, we'll have comment opportunities and just information for you to take and share. It's very important that we get this information out there, because there are people all up and down the coast and inland that have no idea what is going on here in the ocean. So this is our opportunity in the summertime. People are kind of thinking about the ocean. We think about it all year round down here, but they're thinking about the ocean, they're going there. So we need to get their attention now, and we need to get their help now. So I invite you, we're going to have some questions here, but we also today have this wonderful sand sculpture that will be up for as long as Mother Nature will allow it. So thank you to these sculptors. But we are asking people to take pictures, share it around the Clean Ocean Zone hashtag, and just get people in the know about this. Celebrate whales, celebrate all that the ocean provides for us for free, and to get the information out there to take action. So